going to work? What you work?
In security terms, it was not successful. Many Republicans got wind of it and slipped away. Provisionals were able to give a press conference at a school in West Belfast 4 days after the army had swooped. Their claims that the leadership was intact were substantially true. Certainly key figures escaped arrest. Joe Cahill, leading Provisional.
Up to the present, we have lost 1 brigade officer, 1 battalion officer, and the rest are volunteers, or as they say in the British Army, privates. We've lost 2 senior officers.
Where's that, in the whole of Belfast?
In Belfast, yeah.
The army, who had opposed internment on the grounds that they were not well enough informed to pick up the right people, put a brave face on it.
Well, I don't know that I go so far as to say completely beaten, but they've taken a tremendous knock. There are still gunmen around, but they appear to be much more disorganized than they were before and don't seem to have much leadership or pattern.
Again, punitive measures against the Provisionals had resulted in massive Catholic alienation from the army and government. Stories, largely true, of physical and mental maltreatment of internees were rife in the Catholic community. Later, Britain was found guilty at the European Court of Human Rights of inhuman and degrading treatment. Catholic children stayed away from school as a huge rent and rate strike was organized in Catholic areas. Moderate Catholic politicians resorted to the traditional political protest in Ireland, rejecting the government by setting up at Dungiven an alternative assembly.
And the leader of that section of opinion, then Sir Edward Carson, said in Coleraine on the 21st of December 1912, "In the event of this proposed Parliament being thrust upon us, we solemnly and mutually pledge ourselves not to recognise its authority. I do not care twopence if it is treason or not. Today, we do not recognise the authority of the Stormont Parliament, and we do not care twopence whether it is treason or not."
Hey, boy, get back here. Come back here. Come on, back.
The Provisionals answered internment with the bomb and the gun. Up to August, only 15 members of the security forces had been killed. Within 4 months of internment, 41 had died. In the same 4 months, 66 civilians were killed and 1,078 injured. Warnings were usually given, but some bombs were ill-timed, some warnings inadequate, some bombings unclaimed. The campaign was designed to inflict maximum damage on the commercial life of the province. The need to guard the city centres stretched the security forces. It also gave the Provisionals a breathing space. One particularly devastating technique was the car bomb. A demonstration that internment had not defeated the Provisionals. Media coverage of these spectacular explosions brought them wide attention.
It wasn't a bomb, but it was an ambush, because when the troops arrived, fire was opened up down the road. Man hurt there. Wait. Over there, look, over there, over there.
Ambulance! Get the ambulance there! There we are. There we are. There we are. Hold on. There we are. First aid kit! Come on. First aid kit!
Okay. Never mind down there.
And I want to tell them today that there are thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of loyalists just as good as the men of 1912 who, when the crunch comes, will show Mr. Lynch and his fellow travellers the Humes and the Curries and the Devlins, male and female. let it not go out from this meeting that we are an irresponsible bunch of hotheads. Let it go out that we're cool, cold, determined loyalists who will never surrender and who are prepared.
On a winter Saturday, civil rights activists marched along the seashore to McGilligan Camp near Derry, where many local internees were held. They were met firstly by the police, and then by the 1st Battalion of the Parachute Regiment. John Hume led the protest.
Could you tell me on what authority that you're holding us back here from walking along the
This is a prohibited area. You're not allowed in a prohibited area, and it goes 3 miles
Under
out to
what
sea.
law? Would you ask those men to stop firing rubber bullets? Women, please.
They will not. They'll stop it, provided you keep away from the wire and don't try to enter this prohibited area.
Under what law is it prohibited, or under what authority is it prohibited? Can you tell me?
It will be prohibited by the police and by the government.
Well, the police tell me that it's you that is in command here, not them.
I am police of the military here, because this is a military area. And an authority of the government is to be decreed a prohibited area.
Yeah, and are you proud of the way your men have treated this crowd today?
This crowd tried to come in a prohibited area. You, as a member of Parliament, was trying to stop them.
And you shot them with rubber bullets and gas. The crowd was marching over there. The leaders were going to speak to you. Before we even got there, you opened fire.
That's right.
Fire was open after it came through the wire.
No, it was not. No, it was not. Fire was open as the crowd was coming across the beach.
I'm not here to enter an argument with you.
No, I'm not here either. But I wouldn't be very proud of the conduct of your men today. They're a crowd of people, and they're totally unarmed people, as you can see for yourself.
If you lead all people away, then we'll go away too.
Yeah, but we want to march in there.
Why
not? It doesn't belong to you. It doesn't belong to you. You can't prohibit it.
It's been prohibited by your government.
Whose government?
The government of Northern Ireland.
Not our government. And that's why you're here, because it's not our government.
Demonstrations had been banned at the time of internment. But on Sunday, the 30th of January, several thousand people in Derry marched towards the city centre. All factions in the Catholic community united against internment under the banner of civil rights. The army and police decided not to stop the march for fear of violence, but to contain it within the bogside. At the junction of William Street and Rossville Street, the marchers passed the army barricades. A substantial number of marchers broke away from the march and turned towards the army barricade.